Welcome back to the Siris King Show. Going to talk a little politics. How could I not? We had the presidential debate between Joe Biden and Donald Trump. And what happened yesterday, I'm shocked it hasn't happened earlier. Joe Biden looked like a rambling moron. I feel that, I have compassion. He looked like an old guy who's not supposed to be up there. And I've had arguments with people. I'm not a Democrat, so they could do whatever they want. I'm a third party guy, but I've had arguments, and people swear. Like, I was like, how could you guys see this? It's not coming. If you guys say that Donald Trump is a threat to democracy, which I think is bullshit, be honest, right? If he's a threat to democracy, why don't you pick somebody better then? And I would hear people say, well, it's up to Biden to do it. Like, the Democrat, don't ever get it twisted. The Democratic Party is a corporation, literally, right? You just can't walk off the street and say you're gonna represent the Democrats. They can put who they want to put, and at least if you said, well, they could narrow it down to 4 or 5 people, and they might have out of those 5 a person that they prefer. But you just can't walk up the street and say, I'm going to be a Democratic freaking representative, right? And especially if you're pushing the narrative of Donald Trump's a threat to democracy. And I feel that Joe Biden is surrounded by a lot of careerists and a lot of people who rule by proxy through Biden. And if there's a new president or even a new nominee, they're going to have a different staff. They're going to have a different crew. You can't tell me you could look at that and be shocked what happened. You can't tell me that. Like, you could look. I mean, this guy. There was a point where they were talking about abortion, which is the topic that Trump is weak in, and Joe Biden went from abortion to talk about immigrants and some immigrant raping somebody. Like, I'm not even playing. Like, it was crazy, and I don't understand how people can't see that they couldn't see it. Now they do, but it's probably too late at this point. Trump was cringe. Trump didn't, if you were a person who's young and you're into Israel, Palestine, Trump literally called Joe Biden a Palestinian, and he said he's one of the weak ones. Literally. So Trump, it wasn't like Trump was great. Trump was making stuff up, right? And if you are for Biden, I can see how you would exaggerate what Trump says and you try to make it seem like they're both fools, which they both are. But any honest person would say last night wasn't about Trump, it was about Biden. It was so bad, Trump wasn't even attacking Biden like that. Like, Biden looked like, I felt bad for him. He looked like an old man, a sad old man. And for me, it's not really about him being sad. It's more about the Democrats. Like, this is the people who you have running the country, in a sense, right? And look, I get it. I'm not one of these morons who don't understand how politics work. I know that a lot of times the people around the president run the show. So the president, so you can, it's like somebody saying Biden could run. I think Joe Scarborough said this, and I'm not a big Joe Scarborough fan at all. He's an awful person. But I think he said this. I think he said Joe Biden could run the country, but he can't run for president. And I'm not when you have an administration, right? That's not even counting advisors. Because some advisors there's unofficial advisors as well. Those people are running the show, right? So you're just a person who's a prop. And it's really more about who you pick to choose to be around you. So I'm not one of the people who say, oh yeah, man, if Biden, I don't trust Biden on nuclear code. Do you think they're not letting Biden anywhere near that, right? But at the same time, it's an irresponsibility because the Democrats have told people, have scared people. They have not come with any policy. Abortion is the only thing they had. I mean, they're not good at immigration. They're not really great at the economy. The economy, you can say the economy is doing better, but the economy, Wall Street is doing better. Like the economy in the last 15 years, we in the old days, you could just look at the stock market if it's up and down, and you can kind of figure how people are doing. Now the stock market could be up, and Main Street is still doing bad, right? It's like almost like there's 2 economies now, right? The haves have so much more leverage and power that it doesn't even matter sometimes. I mean, and like I said, the economy could be going good on Wall Street. If you're going by Wall Street, if you're saying unemployment is down, you're not counting people who stop working, or you're not counting people who might be working part-time, or you're not counting inflation so much. Some people need another job. They're supposed to be working 2 jobs, right? You're not counting any of that. So I think in a lot of ways on paper, Biden, if you're a selfish prick and you only care about domestic policies, I can see how you say Biden is not as bad as advertised, but what you don't realize is domestically, America has been a shithole for a long time, right? Domestically, America, I hope you don't hear my dog snoring in the background, right? And if you couldn't, I really don't care to tell you I'm not talking and snoring. But compared to other first world countries, I mean, America, I think let me try to remember how that went. Yeah, I think the average American, I think it's like in the 70, 75, 76, maybe it was 77, right? Expectancy, it went down to 74. Like, it was one of the only countries that, I'm talking first world countries, where people were living a little bit less. And that's probably because of fentanyl deaths, and, I mean, even that, I'm not one of the people, fentanyl doesn't get the attention crack did back in the days. Fentanyl is killing a lot of people. And, we have a lot of fires going on at the same time. So even if Biden sort of made those fires look a little visibly less, it's still burning and people still hurting. When I look at the average person, they have far less money today than they had 10, 15 years ago. I don't care what the economy says, right? So it's kind of one of those things where you look at it, and then you say, what are the Democrats going to do? I mean, I'm going to have to replace them. It's just bad all around. If they replace them with anybody but Kamala Harris, which if they put Kamala Harris, I think that'd be insane. She polls lower than Biden, right? But that's what vice president's supposed to do, right? So you come in and say, no, we're going to take somebody completely different than Harris, right? It just looks bad. And trust me, they're not going to pick Harris. But the whole setup is terrible. And, I don't know where this is going. Because the thing is with Trump is he's a very unpredictable dude, right? I'm a vote third party either way, but he's a very unpredictable dude. So, I always say America runs best when there's balance, right? It's like harmony between both parties, not harmony in terms of the theater. The theater, they're going to always talk shit, right? But it's more, my setup is, I'm a vote third party. I always vote Libertarian or Green Party anyway, right? But it's like if you say, Democrats win in 4 years, or let's say back-to-back years, then vote Republican that 12th year, right? So if they win 8, vote for somebody else to break the cycle. And I feel now both parties are sort of broken in the sense that they're the same party and they don't hide how corporate interests control them. You see what happened to Boeing, Boeing Airlines, Jamal Bowman, and he's not even really for real pro-Palestinian, and he's not pro-Israel enough to get rid of him. That's the level that we're at right now. We're at where 75 or 80% of the Democratic base doesn't support the Israel-Palestine war, and the Democrats themselves could care less. So if the Democrats themselves could care less, with about 80% of their constituents not caring about, caring about Israel and Palestine and thinking that it's not going the way it's supposed to, Israel's going too far, and the Democrats still don't care. I think the Republicans, it probably is in the 40s that care about that or say Israel's going too far. Could be 50s too, but I think it's in the 40s. But if the Democrats don't change it 80%, you think the Republicans are going to change it 40%? The only thing Republicans are better domestic, and I can't even say internationally, not even domestic. Internationally, is probably the Ukraine war, maybe, and I don't even know that's true, to be honest. So, sad day for the blue team, but you guys deserve it. Don't know what you were thinking. And a lot of these so-called YouTube Biden simp channels, David Pakman, shit, fuck the Young Turks too, Crystal from Breaking Points, all you guys, the Humanist Report, all you guys should be ashamed of yourselves. Anybody, Vanguard, anybody pushing the lesser of two evils, this is what you get. This guy. So, Siris King. Till next time. Peace.